the heck is this? Paging me at 5:46 in the morning, clock of dawn. Now I'm yawning, wipe the cold from my eyes. See who's this paging me and why? It's my man Pop from the barber shop. Told me he was in the gambling spot and heard the intricate plot. Now people wanna stick you like fly paper, neighbor. Slow down, love, please chill, drop the cape.
Going on, my people. First, I just got home from church. Great service. So I want to give thanks to God for waking me up this morning. Thank you for the blessing. Thank you for giving me another chance to reach my peoples again on my voice, our agenda. Let me get straight to it. Last episode, I spoke about a woman's worth. I'm going to piggyback off of that. Again, I use my platform to reach the people, to be raw and authentic. Even if I have to step on toes, nothing personal. And I want to continue to talk about women. Today, I want to talk about broken women. What does that mean? Well, the term broken woman can come in a lot of different ways. Today, I just want to specifically talk about women who have experienced significant emotional, psychological trauma that's often resulted in feelings of brokenness, damage, unworthiness. Ironically, I mentioned unworthiness, and that's why I say I'm piggybacking off of my last episode because a woman can become broken in some cases if she's not appreciated, if she don't know her worth, right? So that's the reason why I say I'm piggybacking off, and I'm not really talking about the worst part. I'm talking about the broken of a woman, a broke spiritually, emotional, psychologically broken woman. And that can come about in a lot of ways. Um, that can stem from childhood, um, seeing a lot of abuse from their parents or their siblings. However, it may come about, it's definitely a topic that need to be addressed because a lot of women experience it, um, and it's kind of brushed under the rug. Well, today I want to attack that. I want to you know magnify it, and hopefully I can help someone out because a lot of broken women are in denial. So again, I just want to touch on that and help people understand that it can come from various sources. Being a broken woman, abusive relationship, losing a relationship that you put your heart into, you gave everything to, and to lose that relationship, that can break a woman. Um, and a lot of trauma that a young girl or a woman may have experienced can break her. And, you know, and it can be different ways for someone to express their pain and vulnerability, especially women. And in a lot of cases, It can also be a way to avoid taking responsibility for their actions or create a toxic relationship dynamic. And what I mean by that, by taking responsibility, you see, a lot of women have been in past relationships and they have experienced trauma of some sort. And they try to move on with their life without addressing that trauma. Counseling, therapy, having a close friend that they just vent to get it out there. They keep it all bottled in. And then they try to move on with their life without addressing that trauma. And you meet a man, and he can be a good man. He can be everything that you wish for, give you everything you need. Um, and I'm not talking about monetary wise. I'm not talking about money. I'm not talking about gifts, material things. I'm talking about true love, you know, respect, giving you that dignity, you know, treating you like a queen, taking you out, having that soft, gentle conversation with you, standing by your side, uplifting you, always complimenting you, telling you how much he loved you, how beautiful you are. Any dreams you got, baby girl, I'm with you. I'm gonna stand right here with you. Whatever you want, I want. I got you. And a lot of times women never heard that. They never experienced that. All they know is trauma. All they keep thinking in the back of their mind, about what happened to them in the past. They're broken. And when you carry that over to different relationships, a lot of women end up alone. And they blame every man that they interact with, that they get in a relationship with, and they never blame themselves. And I'm talking about women that have never addressed the issue. If you've been in a broken relationship, if you've been in an abusive relationship, if you've been in a relationship that caused you so much pain and you suffering, and you never addressed that, you can't blame the man that come along that's trying to do everything in his power to make you happy. Especially if you have expressed the agony and the pain and the struggle you've been through in your past relationship, and he's doing everything in his power not to bring you back down that road because he knows what you've been through, and you keep pushing them off. You keep pushing them away because you haven't dealt with your trauma. Then you lose that relationship because after a while, a good man don't want to keep fighting with you. Even though he knows what you've been through, and he probably, try his best to hang in there. At some point, it becomes a breaking point because you have not addressed your trauma. And I think we're dealing with a lot of that. So I just want to spend this episode of My Voice, Our Agenda to say, I pray for you women. I pray. Because some of you women are going to end up alone. Some of you women in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, no man wants to be around that. Because if you're not taking responsibilities for your actions, because when you're broken, you don't trust that man. You don't believe nothing he say. And it's not your fault. Let me not sound cold about it. It's not your fault. You just haven't addressed that issue. But if this man is giving you everything, he's giving you the world, Psychologically, mentally, emotionally, he's giving you everything you that any good woman would need to prosper in a relationship, but you keep pushing them away because you have not addressed that issue. Some men are not going to hang around too long. They're going to walk away from it. I don't blame them, because when we reach a certain age as men, and we have evolved as men after being no good men for a while. Okay, I want to change. I see that woman right there. She's capable of being my wife. She's capable of being my life partner, my soulmate. I want to show her that I'm a good man. But a broken woman not gonna trust that man. She's always gonna have in the back of her mind, or he gonna do the same thing those other men did. I don't trust him. So their attitude is nasty. They're constantly moody, aggravated. Every once in a while, when things are going good, out of the blue, they just find something to be mad about for no reason. And then when they do something wrong, that good man, that great man can't even ask them a question. They can't even come to them and say, you know what, baby girl, like, this is what I'm seeing, this is what I'm not liking. Because in any relationship, you want to communicate. It's hard to do that with a broken woman. Not all, but with some broken women, they psychologically damage, and you know, and they dealing with deep emotional pain, and I don't know. I just think that my message to you women that's been through a lot, been cheated on, been verbally abused, physically abused, um, just not being treated like you're supposed to be treated. Yeah, you should know your worth, but knowing your worth should bring you down that road to healing. You got to heal yourself. So my advice to you, before you even get into another relationship, get help. Counseling, therapy. You know, it's okay to be single until you heal yourself. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You can't love nobody else until you love yourself. And part of healing is loving yourself. Part of knowing your worth is healing. If you're damaged, if you're always crying and you're always depressed and you're always trying to find a reason to blame somebody else for something that you've done, you're broken. So, for all you women that in your 30s, 40s, and 50s, and a man haven't put a ring on your finger, and you keep running into these relationships that don't work, you keep meeting guys and wondering why they don't stay around. And I'm not talking about men that's not no good. I'm keeping it real tight right now because you're gonna have, oh, men ain't shit. No, no, no. This is strictly about broken women that's not dealing with their pain, their trauma. And when they come across good men, I'm gonna keep emphasizing that. Good men that's giving them everything they need and they keep pushing them away. And they go through their adult years and all you doing is opening your legs, laying on your back. because you're not gaining. You spent all these years sleeping with men, and not one of them put a ring on your finger. Not none of them propose to you and say, you know, I want you to be my wife. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. Not one of them, settled down with you and bought a home with you. And these are good men. At some point, you can't keep blaming men. You have to look at yourself. Why not? Stop telling the world on social media how good of a woman you are. If the next man, do his job, well, not well, if you got a man that's not, you feel he's not doing his job, what you won't do, the next man will, and all that. Come on, man. You have to look in the mirror and heal yourself and recognize that you are a broken woman. You have not seen the glory for a reason. And a large part of that is because of you. Take accountability for the trauma that's causing you not to be the great woman you should be. I'm not saying you can't cook and you can't be a good mother, you can't be a good sibling, a good wife. You have all the potential in the world, but you're dealing with some inner pain. You're struggling deeply inside. You're troubled. And a lot of men fall in love with these women and they don't see it until it's too late. So my advice to the men that's dealing with women that's broken, if you can help that woman, try to find a way. Communicate with her. Let her know how you feel. Be honest, even if you have to be raw about it. In a respectful way, sit down and tell her, like, baby, I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing everything right. What can I do? I don't want to argue with you. I don't want to fight with you. I don't want to be like those other men that put you in this position. Now, outside of the relationship part of having to be broken, a lot of times, you know, these young girls grow up without a father, and they tend to meet all the wrong men, and they can become broken that way because daddy's little girl, and if they got a positive father in their life, that father leads by example. So when you lead by example as a man, your daughter will not, a lot of times, they will not choose the wrong man. You know, they may choose them one time because, sometimes you just have to find out the hard way. But more often than not, they know how to get rid of those bad men and they don't experience trauma and become broken as much as women that don't have a father. So again, women, you guys have to address your personal pain, your inner pain, your struggle, your emotional pain. Um, and you can't carry that on into a a new relationship because you're gonna keep on reliving your past experiences. And that's not fair to the man that's trying to do everything in his power to show you love. Because a lot of times they don't understand it. At the beginning, they just trying to figure things out. Because a broken woman can hide their pain for a long time, and it comes out at the wrong time. And by that time, that man is already 10 toes down into the relationship. He's already in love. He's already invested because it came at a time where he wasn't expecting it. You're gonna end up distancing yourself and starting fights and blaming him for things that had nothing to do with him. So please, I sound like a broken record, but please address it. Women, please address your pain. Get the healing. Get the help. A lot of you guys are in denial, but get the help. Y'all need it. You know, and there's no reason for you broken woman to try to manipulate the good man to create sympathy. You know, don't use that against him to make him feel like he's doing something wrong. No, you're the problem. And I think it's unfair knowing that you need to get that help and you don't. I think a lot of times either you're afraid to meet or go head to head with your trauma. So you don't want to have that one-on-one with a counselor or a therapist because you're trying your hardest to forget it. And, I understand that. But come on, you cannot reach a certain age of your life, 30s, 40s, and 50s, living with that trauma. You can't. Because if you're doing that and you expect a man to try to understand that and spend the rest of his life with you, I think you're being unfair. I think you're being selfish. So, again, I just want to talk about that. Um, you know, if you are a broken woman and you recognize that you having psychological, emotional pain and you don't know how to tackle it, I pray for you. I hope that you do get the help. And finally, for you men, hang in there, man. Keep being you. And if you can be anything, especially if you truly love that woman, don't add to it. Just help her out. Talk to her, communicate. Try to figure out with her. Be by her side. Because I know sometimes it can be unbearable. It can be unbearable. So thank you guys for watching another episode of My Voice, Our Agenda. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Share, like, comment. Please, please understand integrity is everything. Either you have it or you don't. I love you guys. Whatever you're doing out there today, be safe. Enjoy this beautiful Sunday. I appreciate you guys. One love.